such a strong smell.
Pardon?
Such a strong smell. It's so molassesy. Molastastic. Okay. Having started shooting minutes ago, I will now announce that I'm going to attempt some cognac cocktails, starting with the Bamboo No. 2, because it's going to hopefully get us to use up some of the liquors we don't like. I'm going to shake it, even though this doesn't contain any fruit juice, so it doesn't need to be shaken. But I'm going to throw in, it's just a bar spoon of Demerara. Bar spoon of Demerara. Three-quarter ounce vermouth. We'll try this vermouth. As we said in a previous video, we have 3 white vermouths right now. One of which is really good, one of which is really bad, and this one, which I think is more on the bad side. Then, a fortified red wine. So essentially red vermouth. Oh lordy. Aha. We also have this being infused with coffee down below. Get a whole ounce of fortified red, which is basically known as sweet vermouth. And then, 1.5 ounces of cognac. And I'm gonna fight really hard to not say yak all the time. Oops. 1.5 ounces. Maybe that was a fat 1.5 ounces. So we can just give this a stir. There's no fruit juice in it. Demerara should liquefy just fine. And let's give this a pour into one of our mini glasses. So being honest off the bat, it smells like vermouth. It's a great color. Let me talk to the cam. Might not carry as well, but it's a wonderful dark cherry red color. Yeah, it just smells like vermouth. And it tastes like, oh, it gets worse. Oh, it just gets worse and worse as it evolves. The evolution goes from just not as bad as you think to exactly as bad as you think. It starts off tasting like, as generously as I can say this, a little bit like cold red wine, which isn't awful. And then it just gets to that fucking rhinoceros cock in your throat that vermouth tastes like. Ugh. So, I hate this drink. Okay, next. I didn't write down amounts for this, and we don't have any club soda. But the reason I didn't write down amounts was it was all really intuitive, basically 1-to-1s. So it calls for... Let me get my Urs ready. I need to speak English more consistently. I just go through accents and then that stupid pronunciation thing that I do, where I put an R into everything. We throw in An ounce of yak. No, just, that's one. Let me throw in an ounce of gin. Crave gin. This gin smells amazing. Maybe it is just the taste of vermouth in my system that's like, oh, get some gin in you. Save yourself. Calls for vermouth. Let's make it a ½ ounce, because it's vermouth, and no matter what the hipsters are telling you now, vermouth is disgusting and stupid. Oh, I didn't even tell you what I'm trying to make here, and we're still gonna make it wrong. This is called a Bermuda Highball, and it why I got into it was contains gin, but also requires orange bitters. So give it dash on the orange bitters, and we have a use for our orange bitters. It's not secure in the locking mechanism. Which means this also doesn't need to be shaken. And so I would just pour this into a glass and then top with club soda to make a proper Bermuda Highball. Let's call this a Bermuda Lowball. So there's our color. Never have a good enough camera to actually capture this, but some of the oils are still swirling around in this amber colored fluid. If you're being generous, it looks golden and tasty and complex, and if you feel like being a jerk, it looks like pee. Getting the gin on the nose, because we've got Old Tom gin in there, more fragrant than a London Dry. It's still too... I can detect the vermouth. I can. It makes it kind of oily and kind of round, if you'll forgive using a geometric description of a flavor. It gives it that big mouthfeel, but also just kind of then occupies so much of your mouth. This drink has nothing to offer. That's the problem. Not bad. As you can see, I had more than one sip. But the Bermuda Lowball, I mean, and then you pour club soda in that, it's just going to be that, but fizzy and kind of thinned out, and maybe more palatable because of the sugar. Now here we go. Now I don't even need to rinse out the shaker for this next one. What I do need to do is go cut a lemon. No, I need to retrieve this lemon from right here. I don't have anything to cut it with.
Knife is by the glasses.
Okay. We also need a fruit peeler over here for doing zests. So, this is, if my notes are to be believed, known as the almond crusta, which I'm sure is pronounced fancily in some obnoxious way. But we got our lemon. Now we're just wasting all the space on the tiny spill mat. Got our lemon. I'm going to open the agave, and I'm going to put in a dash of that to take the place of sugar. So we're going to get a little bit of sweetness out of the agave syrup, which I want to make some more cocktails with in the future. plus is organic. Then I need an ounce of yak and a half-ounce gin. So let's throw in that half-ounce gin. Let's make it a fat half-ounce, baby. And put in cognac. Maybe this is garbage cognac. How would we ever know? What's on your mind?
I can't tell if my sweater smells like cannabis.
I had a feeling that's what it was.
And I have no idea how we would tell if that was good cognac, because...
Well, it can't be that good, but I mean, it cost me $60, so it's not bottom shelf, it's not top shelf. And with that, ooh, need a dash bitters.
May I?
What?
The cognac?
You may eventually.
Okay.
Did I put ice in this? Did you see me do that?
You did not.
Okay. So don't be a fool. Ice your tool. That's not a slogan that I am on board with, sir or madam. So this has our ounce of cognac, our half-ounce gin, some lemon, a dash of bitters, and agave for sugar. We're going to shake her up. We're going to give her a pour. An interesting color, some texture given off by the lemon. And then what we need is the ability to do a zest, which shouldn't be well with the lemon. Okay, you're a zest now. No one tell Greg that I just did the worst zest ever. Just give it one of those that everyone gives it. Might look good with a maraschino cherry in it too. I go back and forth on the pronunciation maraschino and maraschino. Again, Greg, how to drink. Right off the bat, the citrus livens this up, makes it really good. Makes it, gives it immediacy. Like the first thing you sense is the citrus hitting your lips. I don't even think that's a flavor per se. That's an experiential aspect rather than a true flavor profile. It's hard to say if this is more than the sum of its parts or not, though. I mean, I can't say what's doing any work. I almost want to make it poorly and then see what improves it. And the reason for that is when I was working on my Manhattan recipe, I wondered if the vermouth was really doing any work. And I just put in mellow corn and maraschino, and it was totally mediocre. And then into that drink, I put in the correct amount of vermouth, and it became delicious. So, cocktails do work, and they do become more than the sum of their parts. Let's try making this again without any lemon. Aside from like the little splash of lemon that'll still be in here. But heavily reduced on the lemon. And then we'll squeeze lemon into it and see if the lemon's doing too much work or if this might as well just be a lemonade Slurpee full of vodka. Do they make lemonade Slurpees? They must.
I'm gonna go with probably.
off camera when we've made a bunch of drinks, I've always poured them all into a big glass and tried them all together, and I'm not thrilled to do that this time. And this just needs a dash bitters and some sugar. You never know how strong your first dash is. You always feel confident in your second dash. The first one could just be all over the place. So this doesn't actually need to be shaken at this point because it doesn't contain any fruit juice. We get a nice transparent color, very golden. There is still clearly a little bit of lemon rind in the shaker, but doing it this way, you get much more of the cognac. This now tastes like a cognac cocktail. Maybe there was just simply way too much lemon in that bad boy. Let's see if we can just cheat this. Give that just a swizzle. That actually turned out really good. So, if you're making an almond crusta, which it's not pronounced crusta, guarantee it, go easy on the lemon. It's the best of the cocktails so far. I want to see if maybe this. It's the best of the cocktails so far. An almond crusta with light lemon. And then, without a plan here, is there anything we can do with cognac? These three cocktails put cognac with vermouth repeatedly, they put cognac with gin repeatedly. And they all put it with additional sugar. I'm like, there's a lot of sugar in cognac. I don't think we need to be adding any sugar. What if we go rinse the shaker. You see, Greg has a cast of like a half dozen people to drink his drinks. Even if he gets tanked up on sampling each one, we're just stuck with these. I'm going to throw together.
We can toss them.
Tragic waste of booze in this economy.
Fine.
Just have to go out and buy beer. Because beer between awful drinks is fine. That's what beer's for in my life now. That's an ounce of cognac with my beloved anise. Make that a half. And now, partly because I think it's a good idea and partly because it's right here. Let's do some lemon in that. And this is where I'd be like, yeah, well, put in a dash of bitters and everything. I don't know that a dash of bitters is going to help this. Let's see if there's any foundational idea whatsoever. That was a terrible shake. I shake too quickly. I always want to get the shaking over with, is my problem. Because we know that anise and lemon supposedly go together, even though I was using pineapple as my citrus the other day. And I think that lemon, anise, and cognac, I think that the anise will surprisingly pull the two other ingredients together. We've got a good smell here. For those of us who like anise, by the way, like as I said before, those of us who like absinthe and drink Pernod and have just come to really identify that flavor with happiness and the music of Nine Inch Nails. So what I'm getting is anise. No surprise there. I declare that to be wonderful. Here's the thing, this is a factor you have to watch out for. When you invent something, you instantly give it 4 bonus points. So if it's, if it's a 0, it becomes a 4, and you're like, okay, it's a 4 out of 10. Gross. You can identify things you made that suck. But if it's a 2, and you made it, and you try it, you register it as a 6. And that just goes up and up and up. And I've had so many cocktails by other people, and I know this is true in myself too, when I've made something, I always temper the notion, like, I feel this is really, really good. To everyone else, that's at best going to be good. Okay, you're so predisposed to take pride in your own things. And not just pride, but your expectation is raised unrealistically. I do declare, however, this is a fantastic drink. I love it. You want to give it a run there and confirm or deny that this is the best beverage of the day? Just come and sit down at the bar.
I like the mysterious arm.
The shadow effect, remember?
And clearly now I do not remember. Yeah, that smells like black licorice.
Nope, still just like all you get from this one is lemon.
Ha.
Sorry. What do you think of that drink? Do you think that there's a cocktail in there somewhere?
Yes, but at this point I think there's too much lemon.
You think there's too much lemon in that?
Mm-hmm.
Does the lemon just overpower everything else? And that's like, I thought, like, you at least get the anise in that. Like, you're not getting, I feel like it doesn't just feel like lemonade.
Yeah, but the cognac is completely lost.
That's true, the cognac is completely lost. It's almost like it's a way to smuggle cognac into a drink. You're right, the cognac isn't the star whatsoever. It doesn't feel like a cognac cocktail. 6 ounces plus of wasted liquor here.
Okay, why did you pour it into 4?
So it wouldn't all fit in one. I actually just wanted to know. Actually, I wasn't thinking whatsoever. That's the honest truth.
Because you had 4 glasses and you could?
No. You're absolutely right, though. The cognac isn't doing any work in that. It could almost, like, I don't want to say that it could be anything in there, but it could be anything in there. If you made that same thing with mellow corn, it might be better. It might be exactly the same.
The gas did pee on my sweater, I decided.
There's still too much vermouth in these. That's what you.
Well, yeah, you took all the vermouth and you put it into one drink.
2 of the drinks had vermouth in them. But realistically, that was an ounce of vermouth in 8 ounces of liquid, mostly gin and cognac. And vermouth is still what you get. I hate you, vermouth. That's why, well, I like using, maraschino instead of vermouth, or using Galliano instead of vermouth when making a cocktail, because vermouth just doesn't add anything to anything. Fight me.
I just want to know what a martini without vermouth with Galliano is. Yeah. I'm going to go with delicious.
Sure it is. Let's have that to end this episode, so that it's not just like me ranting about drinks I ate the entire time. That's not going to be fun to watch. That's not a vicarious thrill. That's what it's like to actually hang out with me. Yeah, we're going to edit that right out. Although once I say I'm going to edit something out, it's always funnier to leave that edit in.
Patreon only.
Subscribe to our Patreon, check out our Tumblr, all the internet things that we don't have whatsoever. Okay, I refilled the shaker with ice in case I edited out all that walking. I'm going to throw in the classic 1.5 ounces to make a martini. And then a straight up substitution, Galliano for vermouth. How would you garnish this? I might garnish this with a maraschino cherry. That's a fat 1/2 ounce probably. You have to remember that a shot glass isn't a jigger. They're cone shaped. So the highest volume is at the top. If you don't fill them right to the top, you're getting a lot less than an ounce. You'd be shocked. Then grab a martini glass, so we're doing this proper. While I'm there, I'll grab a maraschino.
This is Gargoyle. She's asleep, so you can't tell that she's actually a terrible, terrible cat. And this is the professor. Look how cute he is.
I think you have a good presentation in this cocktail. Struggle. Put all the way open.
I'm trying.
There you go. Oh, was that your shot the whole time? That's terrible. So this is the presentation. I actually quite like it a lot. Again, I don't have any faith that the camera really picks up what this looks like, but I think it looks wonderful. Like the slight yellow contrasting with the bright red. I think it looks good. What do you get on the nose there? I kind of get... I don't know what I get. I've had so many different flavors in the last 10 seconds. We need to work on our palate cleansing. That needs to be our next thing.
So we need to stop drinking all our coffee in the morning.
True. And maybe even have some crackers on hand.
Just the juniper and the vanilla, really.
mean, I think that's goddamn wonderful. That was an agreement, everybody. Let me fix this shot. Alright, and now the portion of the video that's just us rambling and discussing nonsense and potentially putting our foot in our mouths, but also, I think, sincerely, capturing what life is like in these times. Because as I've said like a million times in the past, I mean, not in the official context, but as I've said a million times in the past, it's the accidental history recording that's the most sincere. I mean, even, pretentious example, Beowulf, written hundreds of years after the fact, Beowulf isn't a history, it's fan fiction. Chuck Klosterman makes this point too, that like, no fiction ever can capture a time. It's always viewed through a lens of the time that it's written. If you had access to media from any previous part in history, you just need to watch the news or anything that is impromptu. Like if you want to know what life in ancient Rome is really like, it matters extremely little what day a certain battle took place in what area. But if you can read, 5 people's diaries from that day in any fashion, or even just people's business ledgers, if you know how to interpret the history of what's being recorded there, then you really have something. And that's why I'm excited for this time in history, because everyone's drastically recording every moment of their lives anyways. Now, a lot of that is artifice. With the increase of people recording their lives, especially knowing that it's going to be seen, they're putting a massive barrier of artifice between themselves and history. But history is going to get recorded by accident anyways. If everyone just did like a Facebook post every day or a YouTube video every day, or just anything to just capture how was the day, and then we get to add them all up at the end of this somehow. What's that? Oh, I totally forgot that we had another bottle of gin. I thought we were running low on... We are running low on the Old Tom.
We are running low on the Old Tom. We have another bottle of gin.
Yeah, I forgot that we got a bottle of non-Park. I tweeted about this. It's the... Cow. Bertha gin.
Bertha's Revenge.
It's all in honor of this cow.
Whose name, shockingly, was Irene.
Anyway, rambling apologized for. Does that make sense, what I said?
Yes, I just think that your wishes will come true because everyone is doing way more than one thing a day.
Well, what I don't think people are doing, or what I'm not seeing right now, is people trying to record the moment. I see a lot of people discussing the moment, and sadly I see that partisanship creeping in again, where it's like you're either on one side or the other all of a sudden. And that side, as of today, that side is like, we need to save the economy. No, we need to save lives. It's just this like hard line where people on the, I gotta say it, other side of this debate are like, yeah, people are gonna die. Maybe even lots of them. Maybe 4% of the population. And we just have to be okay with that, because if the economy doesn't get better, that's bad. It's like, maybe we should just build an economy that doesn't kill people? Like, it's shocking to me how fast people got to that conversation. When I said, sorry for rambling, I said like last week that no one was ready to have that conversation sincerely about like, what are the economic deaths in the future versus the deaths now, I don't think anyone's going to get there. Everyone's going to stay in platitude mode. And it seriously took like 3 days for people who were like, this is no worse than the flu. Yes, it's as bad as the flu. What if we just let this flu kill everyone?
What if we just let this flu kill everyone, but not for economic reasons? Just because we are overpopulated.
Eco-fascism is what that's known as. We drink some garbage drink. You want to come have a seat? You want to sit here? You want to stand there?
Well, I wanted this gin.
Okay. I don't know how we're going to frame this shot. This shot seems fine, except for the fact that my hair naturally wants to become a faux hawk. But
That's fine. I look like a mod.
I love mods. Mod's not dead. Scott sucks. I have also seen, and I think this is a hangover of the identity politics of yesterweek, of anyone who says like the world is improving in any way due to the lockdown or the absence of people gets accused of promoting eco-fascism, which is a fascinating term. And I won't dive into it. I don't want this to be 40 minutes, even though it's for sure going to be. I want these conversations over drinks to be a little tag on the end that does capture what this era is like. But really, like, the history that ever gets absorbed from these videos, it's like, wow, watch Alistair get super skinny and puffy and the bags under his eyes get worse every single day. Day 4.
I'm just gonna get paler. It's very exciting.
Well, if the weather comes back, I'll be sunburned again. Or, not sunburned, but I got the first hint of a tan while running yesterday.
I don't see the sun. And burials are cancelled, so that was my one chance to see the sun.
This is alright. Once all you taste is lemon, this is fine. Or I guess once you've had 4 ounces or whatever, I've already gotten into my system in the last 40 minutes tops. So you can't dash into a stationary vertical vessel.
Well, we can't tilt this, so.
No, that's the lesson. Now we know. Alright. So you're... I hate to use this phrase. Your alcoholic takeaway from this video is that you can replace the vermouth in a martini with Galliano, and then if you feel like it, replace the olive with a maraschino cherry, and you have a fantastic drink. Like, I've had a lot of very well made, very expensive martinis in my life, and they're good if they taste like cold gin and olives, a hint of olives. There's a question in the back.
Do you want to go to Little Brunswick?
I doubt they're open.
If you're in the undisclosed city from which we live.
From which we live.
Yes. And broadcast. Our pirate signal. Libretza is a fantastic Italian restaurant. They make fantastic martinis. And I'm sure they know what to do with Galliano because that sounds a wee bit Italian.
All right.
Try with bitters.
Let me faux cleanse my palate. Palate cleansed.
We should have got that bottle of chartreuse and then just sat here and played chartreuse face with the camera.
Shit. Kitty's so cute. Over there, his rocking chair.
And now he's a gangster.
Well, that doesn't taste horrible.
It still gets adorable.
Yeah. I think the bitters are an improvement in it.
All right. End this video with your signature catchphrase. Go.